quarterback, and they want to have it for the remainder of the season. But they understand that what's going to do what's best for the team, and if that means playing two, we'll play two. But the bottom line is that everyone's got to be in that room's got to be ready to play, whether it's Quentin Dormady or Jaron Thomas, or Will McBride. They all know everyone's got to be ready to play. They're one snap away from being the guy.
What are your thoughts on the set of receivers that you guys are working with?
Oh, I'm really pleased. I think they've had a great summer. You can see the timing was really good. The first 2 days were really good in terms of the ball location, where they're throwing the ball, where we're expecting them to be, and then being at the point where we're expecting them to be in the scheme of the pass game. I think that's been really good. You can see they've put a lot of time and invested in each other, and I think that's what now they trust each other. They know what they need to do to be better, how they're going to win the championship, how we're going to be better in the pass game. And that's the things you have to do. You've got to be on the same page. You've got to be able to speak the same language, and we got to be in sync. And that's what you're seeing the first 2 days. We feel like we're in sync, and you see it on the field.
What are you seeing out of Josh Palmer? I know he came from one of the best programs in the South. I assume he'd be a guy that picked things up a little quicker than some other players.
He's done a really good job. I know our quarterbacks feel comfortable with him. I know he's really doing a good job in the first 2 days. You see that, and we just hope that he keeps pushing that way and keeps pushing to be a guy in the mix and wants to be in the mix. I know he's competing that way. He wants the ball, and he's running good routes, and he's helping our quarterbacks, and our quarterbacks feel comfortable with him.
What's the biggest thing Will McBride's maybe improved on after getting here in the spring to now?
Just a better understanding of the offense, having a little more knowledge of it, and not coming into a situation where this is really overwhelming. I think right now that he feels a little more comfortable. He's kind of coming out of his shell a little bit more. He's really reserved and quiet, but he's got a little swag to him, and I like that. He needs that. He needs to feel comfortable in his own skin. I think he's doing that. He's kind of opened up a lot more in the quarterback room. He says a lot more than I expect him he would do at this time. But that's good because we got to be able to tease each other in the room and feel comfortable with each other. And I think the quarterbacks mentioned that yesterday, that they're able to tease each other a little bit, and it's comfortable. It's a comfortable relationship, and it needs to be.
Mike, what can you tell us about your new quarterback?
That's Washington. Yeah, really glad that he's here. He came from a great program there in the Metroplex. I remember when I was North Texas, as a young kid, he came out there. I remember who he was, so had a relationship a little bit. Knew exactly what we were going to get in him. He's a little bit starry-eyed right now. It may be a little overwhelming for him, but that's natural for a young kid coming in his first time at a major college program, and the expectations, the standards, and what we expect. And he's learning that this is a lot faster than what he thought it was, and I got to be quicker with my footwork to get the ball out on time so that a defense can't react. So it's going to be a great learning experience for him. We're glad to have him here.
What you saw from the summer, when you finally saw them again after they'd gone through the summer, what stood out to you about the quarterbacks in terms of maybe where they progressed?
Leadership, because we preached that all summer long, and in the spring about being the leader, being the CEO of the offense, and understanding that what this position entails and what it requires. And I think they all understand that they got to lead both on the field and off the field. They got to be exemplary teammates each and every day. That they have to find opportunities to lead. There's opportunity each and every single day they step on the field, or when they're in the facility, or they're in the weight room. They got to be able to push from the back, and they got to be able to pull from the front, and it takes that type of personality to do that. And we look at Peyton Manning, listen to a lot of his speeches. We look at Tom Brady and see some of the speeches he gives on leadership, and those are things that we're trying to instill. The best example they can do is their rep, and when they're in a drill situation, is their statement of their commitment to their own teammates. It's how they're going to perform each and every rep. If they're going to go at game speed, they're showing their teammates, that's my commitment to this team, to this program, to where we want to go. And if I'm going at half speed, that's not showing leadership. So it's being able to do it by example, and being able to do it by being a leader on and off the field, down in Smokies when we're eating, sitting with each other, get to know each other. Sit with guys you don't know that are new in the program, find out more about them. That's what it's all about, building trust.
You talk about leadership. How are these guys' IQ as far as working behind the scenes and on the whiteboard? Obviously, you missed that with Josh, but how are these guys keeping up?
Well, I think they do a great job, because a lot of our meetings are like John Gruden's quarterback camp. We get on the board, we force them to get up on there and draw it. They got to draw defense. They got to talk what the defensive scheme is and be able to explain it. And they got to be able to talk the nomenclature of the defensive scheme and offensive scheme. And they got to be able to tell me like I'm a freshman, and that's why I try to tell them, you're on the board, you've got to explain it just like you're a coach. And I think they've done a great job of doing that.
Mike, how do you handle the quarterback competition the right way? Is it different for a coach when it's
every day is a
starter?
competition, and I tell them, go out there and don't compare, just compete. Just go out there and compete to be the best person you were the day before. Don't worry about beating someone else out or doing that. Just do your job on the field. And Bill Belichick said it best, just do your job. And that's one of our goals as our group, is to lead. And then we want to make sure we're an example and never a distraction. And we want to make sure we get trust in our teammates. But we just got to go out and do our job. If we do our job and move the chains and move the ball and put the ball in the end zone, that's leadership.
As camp continues, what are the traits you're kind of looking for that could separate the two?
Well, there's a lot of things that set themselves apart. It's getting guys to feel your energy, to feel you. And it's a great example of Tom Brady on leadership and Peyton Manning on leadership. And you watch how they play. We watch clips of their highlights. Watching Peyton Manning, his offense felt him. His players trusted him, and they felt his presence. And that's what I'm trying to generate in the meeting rooms, what I'm trying to generate on the field, is your players have got to be able to feel you, your energy, your enthusiasm, your passion. And when they get that and they trust you, they'll play their butts off for you. And that's what we're trying to do. So a lot of the intangibles are going to be different things. You know, their work ethic, how they come out. Are they on the field when they step across the white line? Are they ready to go every single day? That's what we're looking for. We want those guys to set themselves apart, be an example, and never a distraction. Understand it's all about us. But it's going to take all of us to get this thing done.
You talked about not comparing, but at the same time, how did Jarrett maybe respond to the perception coming out of the spring that Quentin was maybe the front runner? Did that push him a little bit this summer? You think?
Oh, I'm sure it probably did. I mean, it would push anybody, wouldn't it? You know, if you're the guy and you're going, wait a minute, you know, I'm still in the mix. We're battling, we're competing. Sure, it probably put a little fire in him and it made him compete even harder during the summer workouts, and that's great. And we want them all to compete. You know, it's all about competing. Don't compare. Just keep getting better. Be better than you were the day before. That's all we're trying to preach every single day.
Thanks,
Appreciate it, guys. Have a good day.